Welcome to another segment of Flow with Tarot. So let me pull out the four of the final four of the Mahogany Tarot deck. So we are now down to three, okay? So I pulled this card and I pulled the Five of Pentacles. And so this is one of those cards where the image is in your face. The image is telling a complete story, actually, which is really a tarot deck. An entire tarot deck is telling the story of a person's journey, okay? And the different loops and twists and turns that a person goes through throughout their entire life. And so with a card like this, where the image is so telling, this is where you have to really be open to the different layers of a card, where you have to go beyond what it is showing you. We can clearly see that there is hardship, there is struggle, there is what I want to say is that there is this feeling of escapism, okay? So here's the thing with escapism. We are not meant to sustain struggle and hardship throughout our lives. That is my thought. That is my feeling. That is my belief. Okay? Now, somebody could come in here and say something different, but that is what I feel, and I'll say I feel that for my life. Okay? How about that? I don't believe that. That is not a life of struggle and survival. That is not sustainable for your mental health. It is not sustainable for your physical health. It is not sustainable for your emotional health and well-being. It is not sustainable in your relationships. Relationships can't last off of struggle, off of persistent struggle over and over and over again. Eventually, somebody, if not both people, are going to crash out. And that crash out can look so many different ways. I believe that we should be able to use our spirituality, our spiritual technology, to transmute any difficulty. That we should be able to use our spirituality to transcend a challenge so that our external environment works for us so that we can thrive. Okay? I don't believe that we're just to persist in a struggle and just say, well, that's just the way life is, which many people do. Many people do because there's a reason why. And I feel that many people do that. Many people just say, oh, well, life is just hard. That's just the way it is. Because going through challenges can be exhausting. So you get tired of fighting. You just say, you know what? I'm just going to chalk it up to that's just life. And it's not. It isn't just life. You know what is just life for you to thrive? That is just life, okay? And you can choose whether you accept that for yourself or not, but I'm going to choose that for me, okay? So there's that way of handling a challenge. Instead of you saying, okay, wait a minute, that's just life. I know that I have technology. I know that I have spiritual technology to transmute this. So let me go into my DNA. Let me go into my wisdom. Let me tap into the codes that are in my body to address this challenge in the way that is encoded in my DNA. I don't have to deal with this. I don't have to put up with this. This challenge goes against my life where I thrive. So I'm getting ready to deal with this challenge. That's one way of handling that, and that's not escapism. That's not escapism. Or escaping a challenge, okay? Now, escapism, where you are running from something, you're running from, okay, I'm going to say this. When you are in the middle of a challenge, okay, sometimes the challenge presents itself. It's there because of an energetic pattern within you that has now manifested as a behavioral pattern. Okay? And often with these patterns, they can create a loop of unwanted experiences. So in this case, escapism happens when you're saying, nope, here's this challenge again. Let me find relief. Let me find a way of escaping, instead of saying, okay, I've seen this before. Why does this keep reoccurring? Why is this challenge here again? So instead of you struggling to find relief, which is what I feel is happening here, there's this escapism where your escape is, it's not working, it's hard, it's like you're going against, you're going upstream, and it's not helping you. The more you try to escape, it feels like the worse the situation gets. That's what I feel with this card in the moment, okay? So what you need to do, instead of trying to escape the challenge, just pause for a second and say, have I seen this challenge before? 9 times out of 10, you're going to realize you've seen the pattern before. It's just dressed up differently every single time. But now you have the opportunity to say, you know what? This is a pattern here. Why is this pattern here? Where did this pattern come from? Did I adopt this pattern because it was modeled behavior? Where is this pattern coming from? And why have I continued to hook into this pattern? And then you can start making some different choices. So you don't have, so you realize that running from it, yeah, you can run, and you may find temporary relief. You may find relief in the moment. You may run to a different city. You may run to a different country. You may run into a different career, run into a different business, run into a different job. But that behavior pattern, if that is not addressed, you're going to have that same escape pattern once again. So that's what I feel like this card is addressing. So with any challenge, we get to say, okay, where is this? Is this challenge indicative of a behavioral pattern that I need to address? Is this challenge indicative of an energetic pattern that I need to unhook from and choose differently? We get to do that with every single challenge. So, the motorcycle. So, yeah, that's what I feel like this card is reminding us to do with challenges that come up. Okay? So, let me know what your takeaways are, from this card. And also remember to schedule your reading with me. Okay? I'm happy to support you on your discovery, on your journey, dare I say. So I will leave the link for you to schedule your reading in the comment section later.